Hi, everybody. It's me. This is part 4 of a 5-part series of how ADHD presents in my life and what I do about it. And so, yeah, okay, part 4 is unfinished tasks. So, to back up a little bit, one thing about ADHD is that, again, it's not that we can't focus on anything. It's that we often hyper focus on some things and we're focusing on the wrong thing in the moment. So it sounds really judgy and like perfectionist, but it's true. And so the thing about it is that things that are novel and new and exciting and like shiny, that's what we can focus on. Like we're in the zone and we are focused and it's awesome and whatever. And then often when the newness wears off or the shininess gets a little duller or we get it, we like understand it more and it's not a challenge anymore, it can become like actually like physically painful to keep focusing on it. And it's a real problem, because generally that excitement and focus and whatever wears off before whatever you're doing is actually finished. And so, some ways so learning that was hugely helpful and really groundbreaking in my world where I'm like, oh, that totally explains so many different things that I have just felt like a failure around where there's a reason why, and that's been super helpful. So some things that I do and I've incorporated into my world for that is knowing that like I need to keep things fresh and exciting and new so I can focus on it, right? So for example, cooking. Like I love to cook. However, if it's not something I'm excited about making, forget it. Like it feels like the worst task in the world and I just drag my feet and I don't want to do it. So one way that I do is that I do a meal plan each week and thankfully I'm with a partner who's flexible with this where I make the meal plan and so I can choose things that I feel excited about making that week. And I'm always doing new recipes and tweaking things and trying to figure things out so that it's a little bit of a challenge, and also I make the meal plan. I put a rough plan together of what we're having each night, but then I often will just kind of switch up and be like, okay, well, obviously we have all these ingredients for all these things. So the Tuesday night thing, if I want to make it on Monday, I do that, Another thing I've done is I've set up a meal swap around food, a dinner swap with my neighbor who's super awesome. And we swap dinners once a week. So on Tuesdays, usually I'll make dinner and I'll make double of what I'm making and bring it next door. And then on Thursdays, she does the same and brings it to me and we get a hot meal and it's one last night that we have to cook. And it brings in new exciting food into our house that we wouldn't normally maybe try or have. So that's super helpful. The other thing is for like tasks that are as monotonous and boring, which are abundant when you're a parent. I mean, it's like never ending. I've paired that with podcasts that I really love. And I listen to a whole bunch of different types of podcasts. Maybe I'll do a podcast recommendation show or vlog one time. Let me know if you want that. So I have all these podcasts that kind of spark different interests in me that I really, really love listening to. It feels like a real treat and it's totally like self-care time. Especially with little kids, sometimes you just feel like you can never get space in your own head. And so it's a way for me to have space in my own head and, I can be unloading the dishwasher, making lunches, doing whatever, listening to a podcast, and it keeps it exciting because I can be thinking about something else while doing this other task. And it truly has helped with like household chores and cleaning and whatever. And on some level, sometimes I even look forward to doing those things and listening to that podcast, So those have been things. And then also for other things that just in general, I have a brainstorm. I love to brainstorm. It's like my favorite thing in the world. Again, with the firework thinking, like so many great ideas and so many ideas coming through. Sometimes like they're not supposed to be followed through to the end. Sometimes it's like it served its course and I'm just allowing myself to let things go and not feel bad about not finishing everything. It's okay. Life is too short. Like if it's not working and whatever, just move on. It's okay. It's I'm taking care of the business. I'm keeping the kids alive. Everyone's eating. Like, we're not living in a pigsty. Like, it's okay. Other things can go by the wayside or be put on the shelf for a bit and then come back to. So just giving myself some like real grace around that has been helpful too. And so, yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. What are things that you have a hard time completing? There's some different strategies. I mentioned the pairing with the podcast. There's all sorts of different things. The podcast Happier by Gretchen, I cannot say her name. Gretchen Rubin, I've mentioned before, is super fun, and she has lots of great tips of how to motivate and get things done and whatever. So one little tip on that. And that's it. Okay, that was part 4. Part 5 is coming up. If you like this, please comment. Let me know your thoughts, insights, questions, whatever. And I'll talk to you in a minute. Thanks. Bye.